In life, there are rainy days and sunny days. Without rain, nothing would get what it needs to feed. And without the sun, nothing would get the energy to grow. When there is no rain, everything would dry and burn up. And without the sun, there would be nothing to grow to. And when these things are out of balance, things don't necessarily work out exactly as planned. This is a story about our days and our growth. It's time to acknowledge the rain and the sun as it exposes our own mental capacities. For every curse is a gift in disguise, and the longer we stay ignorant to the battle of our mental health, the longer we suffer. This is Mindcraft. This is us. For the truth comes from within before it goes without. So, nothing like a tranquil backdrop to discuss the next topic. A good friend of mine, Matt McKay, suffers from what he calls anxiety and depression. This is a very common psychological disorder, and anxiety and depression is a bit of a label and can seem like a bit of an understatement, but it's very common, and people like this are everywhere. They're not good or bad people, but they definitely have a challenge.
How does it affect? Wow, this is like, how doesn't it affect? About society, I mean, like, a lot of broken people. I'm talking like for the camera, I'm being all like dramatic, but like, a lot of people, and I was too, are just kind of lost in the medical community. They're doing the best they can, especially like people with addiction, right? You meet a lot of these people that are just psychologically, like, the scale is vast, right? So like, we try antidepressant after antidepressant, and honestly, it can be down to luck, as it was with me, to find the right medicine, or drugs, or whatever. Like society as a whole, I mean, there's just a lot of just bleeding money. Like, here, try this one, try that one. It's healthcare in this country is just brilliant, but like, I can't even imagine what it would be in the United States. We have to pay for it. They actually have like an actually, financially motivated, hospitals and all that, and just so like people like me, who have been to every counselor, been to every psychologist, been on every drug possible, illicit and non. I did find the right antidepressant, more or less by accident, right? I was never going to get out of that, ever, right? I was going to die before I was 30. That was just like for a while, that was just a fact. Anyway, that's my own story. I liken it to, like throwing darts at a dartboard in the dark, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about like, to get that medicine, that pill, that right pill, psychologically, I'm talking like depression. That's kind of what I think a lot of people are, but depression and anxiety, that was my thing. It is my thing, and it will always be my thing. It was, you wouldn't want to admit that you were depressed or anxiety in particular is a tough one, because everyone gets anxious. Everyone, unless they're literally living, no, everyone, right? Anxiety is a normal feeling, but an anxiety problem, it's kind of like a bad term. Oh, I have depression and anxiety. Depression is one thing, but anxiety is another, because that's a global thing. That's universal. Everyone gets anxious, but the thing that happens with me and with a lot of things is that just normal events trigger, the fight or flight, the amygdala, the thing in your brain, that causes that. There's that thing, and just for some reason, for some reason, it just flips on, and then suddenly, you'll be, I remember the first time I had a panic attack. I was sitting on a couch, the most calm, the most like, in a nice house, watching Seinfeld, right? And suddenly, I was in this other world. I was transported to. I thought I was gonna die, and I had, called 911 and said, "I'm dying. I'm having a heart attack." I was a drug addict for 9 years. Let's call it a decade. And that was to mask the depression and anxiety. I don't know why they go together. It's a chemical thing. I was talking about like the generation before us. We're getting better with that. People, it turns out a lot of people have, anxiety and depression. A lot of people are taking, antidepressants that you never think, wow, like my caregivers on antidepressants. It's become less of a thing, less of a stigma. We're starting to understand, but yeah, to be at like work in like a high stress situation and be like, oh man, I'm having an anxiety attack. Like you're opening yourself to like massive, like you're gonna get thrown off the fucking roof, man. Because it's like, it's literally, I'm going to die. I'm going to have a stroke or a heart attack, and your body is responding in all the ways that it would if you're facing off with a tiger, right? It's literally that bad. It's one of the worst experiences a person is likely to have. I think, you feel that you're going to die and you don't know why. And for me, it was always a heart attack or a stroke, because your heart starts beating. Like all the physical functions, all the normal physical functions of someone facing a tiger are happening to me sitting on the couch watching Seinfeld. Like fucking no soup for you, and I'm just fucking, I just started running around the house. For some reason, I kept staring at myself in the mirror. I don't know why. But that seems to be like that's like a trend, I believe. For some reason, we just want to make sure that we're still there or something. Like, your pupils are fucked up and like your throat is closed. It's the worst part about it is that you don't know why, right? If you're facing off with the tiger and you're feeling anxious, that seems natural. But sitting on the fucking couch, pardon my language, sitting on the couch watching Seinfeld by yourself, just another day. Now, I wasn't doing anything special, but for some reason, and it's chaos. Everything's chaos. It was that quick. I'll never forget it, man. Like I stood up from the couch and I'm like, it was like, you ever like dread? Like it wasn't even fear. It's dread. It's this deep thing that like, oh shit, like the world just shifted. I'm gonna die. And this happened, the amount of times I went in to the hospital, or I've gone into hospitals just with a panic attack, it's like more than 10, right? And we're talking ambulance. And you were saying like, the impact on society, it's like, every one of those ambulance rides, like that's a lot. I don't know how much money it is, but like it's a lot of work. And if they're getting this more and more, and it seems to be the trend that this generation, our generation, kind of got nailed with this stuff. I mean, like everyone just seems. I know a lot of people on antidepressants, and it wasn't like that like 10 years ago. It's something. I don't know. Something changed. We've gotten into a little bit of a hump here. We'll get out, but it does seem it does seem that it's on the rise. This anxiety and depression thing, and that's where you get the opioids, excuse me. Like all these kids, using drugs, like, that they were before. I think it's a lot of this sort of detachment that you might feel. You know, you can actually like pretty much perform all the functions you ordinarily would in any given day on your computer. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to espouse about Facebook and all that, but it's like we're getting further away from each other. It's very bizarre. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. I stopped sleeping. Starting from the very, very beginning, I stopped sleeping. I went to the doctor to get sleeping pills. It was a narcotic, you know. And I'll never fucking forget it, man. The first drug I ever abused was what the doctor gave me. Sleeping pills, these little blue pills. And it's just what, it's like a watershed moment in my life where it's just like, you know, okay, one a night. That first time when you're like, what if I took two? Do you know what I mean? The bar was officially open. Do you know what I mean? And this is doctor prescribed, my family doctor, and I'm not, you know, methods are changing. This is like highly addictive, fucked up shit. And that was the first drug I ever abused, just the pills my doctor prescribed. And, you know, I never, obviously never, well, excuse me, it's not obvious to the hypothetical audience, of course, but like, yeah, once I did that, it was just, well, okay, what else can I do to mask this depression? It stopped being about sleep that very night, you know, when I took two instead of one. He got me double zonked, and it's just, it was nice. It was. I don't know why the depression gets lessened. It's a sleep medication. Whatever. Anyway. And alcohol, and well, I just didn't stop drinking for like a decade, I guess. And yeah, and I got into everything, and the important point that I'm trying to make with that is that this was not, I didn't go score on the streets. I got hooked by my doctor. Fuck, that sounds like I'm complaining about the doctor. I misused the pills that the doctor gave me, and of course, you know, pharmaceutical drug misuse, you know, especially in the United States, it's just, you know, because this is the stuff that you know, it's okay. It's legal drugs. It's the same as smack, you know, OxyContin and all that, right? It's just, you know, it's synthesized from morphine, you know, it's heroin, sort of, you know. It's all about, you know, opiates. All right, well, like this. The point is that this is the first generation that's just really fucking misusing legal shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you know, these kids, these, you know, these little baby kids, 14, 15, are going into the medicine cabinet and taking mom's OxyContin now. That never happened before. This is like a brand new thing. It's not a new drug. You know? It's a new problem. It just, maybe have a statistic here where it's gone, like, between the years 2013 and 2017, I did the math, there was like there's a 1,500% raise in overdose fatalities between those years. And what happened in those years that shook us so? You know what I mean? Sorry to get poetic. I got social media. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's a trend that is, it's snowballing. Well, I mean, we live in a very liberal town. The stigma against depression, I mean, I imagine certain times, once you say, oh yeah, I'm on antidepressants, not everyone. There is a certain percentage that they never look at you the same way again. This is true. They have it, you know, down. It's just ignorance. It's not, you know, they're not bad people. But for some reason, you know, oh, he's taking like crazy pills. That box is checked, and you never uncheck that box. It's like the first time this old friend friend of mine heard that I ever used like intravenous, like needle, never talked to me again. Like it's very bizarre. It's even if you tried it once. For some people, you know, justifiably, dude, needles are fucking gross. But, you know. Anyway, stigma against depression. I hope it's a chemical thing, you know. It's not that we're like just sad people. It's we're chemically sad, and it's a vastly different thing. Just your brain just I don't know what to tell you. It's just not working correctly. You know what I mean? And inside of my head, seeing like for 10 years, it was just constant noise, and just to be able to. I'm like new age hippie shit, and I don't care how this comes up. But that's kind of cool, man. Just to be able to. I'm content right now. And I'm harping on the pharmacy stuff. You know, pharmaceutical drugs saved me. You know, at the same time, it is an absolute double-edged sword. We here in like Vancouver in Canada, like, if I lived anywhere else, I would have been dead 5-6 years ago. Like if the amount of free solutions available to me, it's stupid. It's stupid, man. It's literally like the solutions were everywhere. And I just didn't know. I was, no, I don't want counseling. I don't want to do it. Because, when you're depressed, you just don't want to do anything except drink and drink and drink. Which, sorry, excuse me, that was my experience. So, my solution for 10 years was to get as fucked up as possible, as much as possible, all the time. And that's a race you can never win. Right? You know what I mean? You'll always sober up. So that's a solution many people find themselves doing because it's just like it can numb the pain, and the pain can be intense. Have you ever? I can't tell you like what being depressed, like truly depressed, is like. And there are folks like way worse off than I am. I want to be humble here. Like there are people who can't get out of bed. Like it's so debilitating that I don't think there is a solution. Like not a real electroshock. That is a possible solution. It's that bad. It's the ultimate evil, man. I mean, it's not evil. It's not anything. It's just depression is terrible, and it's on the rise. And you're talking about stigmas and all that. We're very lucky. And I'm very lucky here. The solutions available to me was all free. I didn't freeze to death because Vancouver's very temperate. Like I'm so lucky to be here, sober, happily sober. Like I don't even think about it anymore. That my solution was luck. I just got lucky.
So you grew up in a religious environment. Do you believe in faith healing, or do you think faith or God or anything had anything to do with where you're at now?
Do I, like me personally, God? I didn't grow up in a religious. I went to a Catholic school, but I never believed in it. Yeah, I mean, well, sure. That's the thing about faith. It's what you give to it. I don't know. Like, is it a solution? It's a potential solution. I think people might want to consider maybe more medical solutions. A solution to chemical depression. Miracles happen, I guess. But no, like, okay. If there's a message that I want to be like, if you're depressed, ask for help. Literally, just ask for help. Don't suffer alone in the dark. There's help if there's help. I'm gonna get all like emotional shit. It's like there's help for you if you're depressed, and God knows that the numbers just seem to be skyrocketing, and so if we're talking about mental health in 2019, it's tough. So that's all. Get help. You can ask for help, and you'll be surprised at how much help there is. The end.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Reach out, seek help, and just ride it out. Because with all the problems out there, all in all, you can deal with this. Thank you everybody for your time.